as close as it was on the scorecards? ¿Pensaste que la pelea era muy cerquita en las tarjetas de los jueces?
Sí, sabía que había sido una pelea cerrada, pero mi esquina siempre me dijo que estaba cerrada la pelea, pero que estaban adelante. Y los últimos 2 rounds estaba un poco cansado y me mandaron a boxear y pude, quizás esos asaltos que boxeé bien y quizás usando la maña, pues fueron los asaltos clave.
We know the fight was close, but my corner always tell me that I was in front, so I give my best, and this is what happened.
The World Boxing Super Series is still on track.
Let's bring in the WBA bantamweight champion of the world, Naoya Inoue. Naoya, come forward. Emmanuel, give us your thoughts about fighting this man, the monster. What are your thoughts after he destroyed Juan Carlos Payano? But what are your initial thoughts about fighting Naoya Inoue in the semifinals of the World Boxing Super Series Bantamweight Tournament?
¿Cuáles son tus pensamientos después de haber visto el knockout aparatoso que dio Naoya a Payano? ¿Cómo te sientes que enfrentarlo a él ahora?
Él es un boxeador de alto calibre. Es un boxeador que acaba las peleas, como se le ha dicho, es un tremendo peleador, sus méritos se los ha ganado. Él cuando ganó su victoria hace 2 semanas atrás, pues dijo que con quien le gustaría enfrentarme era a mí. Y pues ya, yo gané, pues si Dios lo permite, el año que viene, para febrero, no sé la fecha, pues nos enfrentaríamos y pues será la batalla que todo el mundo está esperando.
He said he's a tough fighter. He knows that he likes to finish his bouts with a knockout. He also knows that he asking for fighting for the next fight, and he said that's going to be a good fight, so he's waiting for the fight.
Emmanuel, thank you. Now let's join alongside by Naoya Inoue, the monster who has been destroying his competition. We saw him 2 weeks ago. Naoya, what is your takeaway from watching Emmanuel Rodriguez in his fight against Jason Maloney?
Hey, let's stop right here for a little minute before we talk. The World Boxing Super Series is moving forward. You know, their fights are official now. You know, there was some talks and, you know, that the second season wasn't going to make it. This time they're doing the right thing and stacking up the cards. For example, you're going to have Inoue versus Rodriguez as the co-feature, or basically it is the co-main event to Josh Taylor versus. Oh wait, let me look. Let me be sure. Here, it's going to be on May the 18th in Glasgow. The main event is going to be Josh Taylor versus Ivan Baranchyk. This is the World Boxing Super Series, which was supposed to be an annual tournament, looking like it's only going to be 2 years. The first year winner was Colin Smith in the 168-pound division, and in the cruiserweights, Alexander Usyk, who is currently the undisputed, depending on how you look at that WBA bullshit, undisputed at 200 pounds or cruiserweight. TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live, and we cover every single fight of the World Boxing Super Series. So once again, these two fighters right here, IBF 118-pound champion Emmanuel Manny Rodriguez, 19-0 with 12 KOs. His last fight against Jason Maloney in the World Boxing Super Series opening round of the Season 2 tournament. He was getting touched up, and frankly, in my opinion, Inoue is going to knock him out to the body. You know? Unless he shows us something that we haven't seen before with the fights I've watched of his that are available online, I don't see him beating Inoue. I'm sorry. This dude right here, he's a prodigy. He ain't no joke. However, I hope he just don't go up too far in weight. I think maybe 122, his height, 126. I think 122, 126, you know, I think that's kind of, you know, a little bit pushing it. But right now, he the man. He can do it. 17-0 with 15 KOs, now 2-division champion. He is the WBA. Wait a minute, hold up, because that WBA situation is confusing. Okay, yeah. So Nordin Obali beat Rashid Warner on the Carter Pack versus Broner. This was the only belt that's not in the World Boxing Super Series 118-pound tournament. Now you got Nonito Donaire, who beat Ryan Burnett because Ryan Burnett back had went out. Taking on Zolani Tite. If I'm correct, that fight is taking place when? Let's see. April 27th. And there's no venue yet. but likely, and also there's no venue yet, but it's going to be on the same card as Regis Prograis versus Krill Relak for to go on to face the winner of, you know, this fight right here. So here it is, these two fights. And the winner of Donaire versus TT is going to face the winner of Inoue versus Manny Rodriguez. So in my opinion, the fight that fans would really be clamoring for would be if Nonito Donaire can make it to that final. Remember, he's at 118 pounds. You know, Ryan Burnett was laying a little bit of hands on him, you know. You know, he is up there long in the tooth. And Zolani Tite, with that height, he ain't no joke, you know. If he can get past that and Inoue gets past Rodriguez, we got a super fight right there. And if Nonito Donaire will be able to make it that far, you know, and after going back down to 118 pounds, that's the fight I want to see in the finals, in my personal opinion. You know? I just don't, you know, I'm trying to give, you know, obviously all fighters have a chance. But Inoue, from what we've seen, he's in a league of his own. Here's a 118-pound division, by the way. And as you can see, you know, World Boxing Super Series. Outside of, we don't know what Obali's going to do. I mean, you got Luis Nery, who's back. He's fighting on Spence Garcia. Is it Spence Garcia he's fighting on? Or is it Porter Ugas? I believe it's Spence Garcia he's fighting on. Yeah, I believe it's Spence Garcia he's fighting on. So he could very well be fighting Nordin Obali. And depending on what happens with the winner of this tournament, the tournament, with the way things are looking, could be over by September, October, hopefully no later than that. And then there's going to be a 3-belt champion in that division, and they're going to be calling all the shots. So we are going to be covering the World Boxing Super Series. Once again, it's going to be taking place on, where's it at? The Hydro. The SSE Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland. Ivan Baranchyk, well, Josh Taylor versus Ivan Baranchyk for the IBF title and the WBC silver. And then you're going to have Emmanuel Rodriguez versus Inoue, or Inoue versus Emmanuel Rodriguez for the IBF and the WBA World. It's weird that they're letting them unify with that, but hey, whatever. Because at the end of the day, that WBA should be unified by the end of this tournament, and it shouldn't be another one made at 118 pounds again. Damn it. But shout out to the Solin brothers, man, especially Kali, for holding this shit together, because, you know, we've been hearing a whole bunch of shit about the World Boxing Super Series not, you know, happening, and, you know, the money not being there, and the fighters, you know, being, you know, upset. But, you know, we got it. By the way, before we go, we got to finish listening to this.
どうでしたか?
まず今日の勝利をおめでとうと言いたいです。
First, I would like to congratulate Rodriguez for winning this fight tonight.
Well, you got your wish in Tokyo. You said you wanted to fight Emmanuel Rodriguez. Now you have your wish. How excited are you to take on this man in the semifinals of the World Boxing Super Series Bantamweight Tournament?
横浜でロドリゲスと準決勝で戦いたいと言ってましたけど、実際現実となって今どう思ってますか？
実際にロドリゲスが勝ち上がってきて、来年、準決勝で戦えることをすごく、非常にワクワクしてます。
I'm really excited that I'll be facing Rodriguez in the semifinals, probably early next year.
We cannot wait for that one. Now we are going to get them to pose off, ladies and gentlemen. The IBF Bantamweight Champion of the World, Naoya Inoue, the WBA Bantamweight Champion of the World, Kalle Sauerland, right there. This is the semifinals of the World Boxing Super Series Bantamweight Tournament. As we have Emmanuel Rodriguez, Naoya Inoue. What a fight this is going to be in 2019. Inoue Rodriguez. The bantamweights, look at this showdown in 2019, all thanks to the World Boxing Super Series.
I'm going to put all the ticket information and everything down below in the description box. You can watch all these. You can watch all the World Boxing Super Series fights on the World Boxing Super Series page. This is on the YouTube page. Even right here, this is on there, but this is from somebody individually. But here is Inoue knocking out Payano in, like, I forgot how many seconds. He ain't beat the shit out of him. He hit the shit out of him.
Well, those questions have been answered in the
most
electrifying fashion, because the man nicknamed the Monster has just produced another devastating display of precise, powerful punching. A 1-2 combination when the fight was still in its nascent stages was all she wrote.
He was asleep.
And Payano's eyes were in orbit. Spinning like the reels on a fruit machine when that right hand landed. There's the jab, there's the right hand, and everything was short-circuited. Payano on the canvas, out of the fight, and out of the World Boxing Super Series.
But also,
and Inoue hasn't.
Oh no, we not. But all you wanted was payday. You come back, you fight Wilder.
God damn it, they're haunting me. They're haunting me. But yeah, I don't see how much of a chance. Like, see, here's the thing: you haven't seen in this clip. You need to go watch some highlights of him. You know, his body work is amazing. You know, but this video is already running a little too long. So, we got a couple more videos to do. Then gotta take a nap before the Canelo Jacobs Mexico press conference. It is 11:09 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, March the 1st, 2019. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.